Hi guys and welcome to Fandom Newbie. My name is Shruti and today is a really exciting video because I am going to attempt to solve an Agatha Christie murder mystery. Now this video is 100% totally inspired from Emmy Reed's. She did a video where she tried to solve the murder of Roger Ackroyd, I believe. And after that video, I've seen so many other YouTubers attempt to solve Agatha Christie murder mysteries. And so I really wanted to try this out because I think it is such an amazing video idea. It's such an amazing way to immerse into a murder mystery book. And I honestly do it anyway. Like whenever I'm reading a thriller or a murder mystery, I try to solve it before the actual reveal happens. So I do it anyway, and I thought that filming this and pretending to be a detective and like putting together all the clues on camera for you guys would be a fun experience. So, the book that I am reading is Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I had such a difficult time choosing which Agatha Christie book I should read, but then my lovely friend Smriti reminded me, or rather told me, that the movie adaptation of Death on the Nile is releasing next week. So as of filming this video, the movie is releasing in a week, so I thought that's perfect. I should read the book, I should try to solve that mystery before the movie is out. And so this is the book that I chose, and to do this, like I said, I'm going into like full-blown detective mode. So I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna sit down and start reading Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie, and I will check in with you guys later. So I just finished reading 40 pages of Death on the Nile and I've already highlighted so many things. Okay, so the first character to keep in mind is this girl named Lynette Ridgway. Now she seems to kind of be this like center point character because all of the other characters seem to have some association with her. And she's basically this 21-year-old heiress to an extremely large fortune, and she's just moved to this small English town and she's bought a house from this guy named George Ward, and she's basically doing up this house. Now, in association with Lynette, we have two of her friends. So the first one is Joanna Southwood, and she's basically just this complete gossip who loves to spread stories and talk about people, and she's not really close to Lynette. The person who Lynette is really close to is actually Jackie de Belfort, but Lynette has actually betrayed Jackie by marrying Simon Doyle, who used to be Jackie's boyfriend. So basically we have like a love triangle going over here where these two have gotten married and Jackie has just been left alone in the dust. Now there are two other characters attached or kind of like related to Lynette, and they are Andrew Pennington and Jim Fanthorpe. Now these two, they seem to be some kind of lawyers or litigators or something like that, but I just feel like the feeling that I get about these characters is that they are just after Lynette's money, or they have something to do with like her estate or her inheritance or something like that. The other ones are Tim Allerton and Mrs. Allerton. Now they are related to Joanna Southwood, but the interesting thing about them is that Tim Allerton and Mrs. Allerton are introduced as a mother-son duo, but they don't act like mother and son. Now the other three characters to mention are Cornelia Robson and her aunt Miss Van Schuler, and Miss Van Schuler's other like maid, Mrs. Bowers. There's something that's up with Miss Van Schuler because Mrs. Bowers said that she will make sure that trouble doesn't happen on this trip, and that trouble I think is related to Miss Van Schuler. All of these characters are going to meet in Egypt, and one of them is going to end up dead. And if I have to place my money or like a bet as to who it's gonna be, I think it's going to be Lynette. You guys, it has happened. We finally have a murder. I shouldn't be sounding this happy, but basically, I am halfway through the book, and one person has been shot on the cruise, and I was right about my guess because it is Lynette Doyle. Her name is now Lynette Doyle because she got married to Simon Doyle and changed it from Lynette Ridgway to Doyle. Okay, so as you can see, I've completely rearranged my board because so much new information has been added. So what I've done is basically I've made this kind of like layout of the cruise that all of these characters are on. So the new characters that have been introduced are a few. So the first two are Rosalie and Mrs. Otterborn. Now they are a mother-daughter duo who are on the cruise, and they don't really have any connection with Lynette other than the fact that Rosalie just seems to be this really sour, extremely angry young woman who seems to be a little jealous of Lynette. The other character who has been introduced is Dr. Besner. He is a German doctor who seems to be on holiday. And there's Colonel Race. Now, Colonel Race is kind of like an associate of Hercule Poirot. Now, Lynette Doyle actually was murdered by a small pistol which had a .22 millimeter bullet. The other interesting thing, so many things have happened, oh my god. The other interesting thing is that between the time of Lynette and Simon's wedding and their honeymoon in Egypt, during this entire time, Jackie de Belfort has been harassing them, she's been stalking them, and she's been plotting her revenge against both of them. She has also a few times threatened to kill them with a pistol. But Jackie doesn't seem to be the one who has killed Lynette because of the entire timeline of events that has happened. So, if we look at the timeline, basically, according to Dr. Besner, who looked at Lynette's body, the murder happened between 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. Okay, so now on the day of the murder, there were quite a few people in the saloon enjoying their night. The people who were in the saloon were Andrew Pennington, Simon Doyle, Lynette Doyle, Jackie de Belfort, Cornelia Robson, and, where did he go? James Fanthorpe. Lynette was seen by Colonel Race returning to her cabin at 11:20 p.m. Then just before 11:30, Mr. Pennington is seen going to bed. Now, we don't know whether he actually goes to his cabin or not, but he's seen leaving the saloon. So now basically what happened between 11:30 and 12:30 is that Jackie has gotten completely drunk and she basically shoots Simon Doyle in the leg. After she shoots him, she kicks her pistol under this kind of chair or something in the saloon. So now between 11:30 and 12:30, Cornelia Robson and Mr. Fanthorpe take Simon Doyle to Dr. Besner, who treats him, gives him a shot of opium and puts him to sleep. At the same time, they take Jackie de Belfort to her room and they call Mrs. Bowers to help her because Mrs. Bowers is a maid and a nurse. And she helps Jackie by also giving her some medicine. She gives her morphine and she puts Jackie to sleep and she stays with Jackie the entire night. So basically, that means that Jackie de Belfort could not have committed the crime. So my suspects for this murder so far are James Fanthorpe. Even though he was there when, the entire fiasco happened between Simon and Jackie, he's hiding about why he's in Egypt for this trip. Then we have Andrew Pennington. And he's been like a suspect from the beginning, especially if Lynette was the one to die, because I feel like he wants Lynette's inheritance. The next person is Rosalie Otterburn, who I said is a very sour, very angry kind of person. And she seems to be very jealous of Lynette. Rosalie Otterburn and Tim Allerton have gotten really friendly and maybe they're working together. Now I'm going to continue reading this book because I feel like the plot is going to thicken, it's going to get even more juicy, and for every clue I find, I'll just put it up here on this board. So we have made some progress with this board, and I have got a few more suspects and a few more theories. So let's jump into them. Firstly, we have one more suspect, and that is Fleetwood, who is the ship's engineer. And he basically didn't like Lynette meddling in his relationship with Lynette's previous maid, Marie, and he blames Lynette for his breakup. So he does have motive to want to kill her. Rosalie Otterborn was seen throwing something overboard by Miss Van Schuler, and then Jackie's pistol was recovered from the Nile and it was wrapped in Miss Van Schuler's stole. Rosalie Otterborn seems a little bit suspicious because, like, why did she have what was she throwing overboard in the middle of the night? And the reason why that is interesting is because James Fanthorpe and multiple people heard a splash at around 1 a.m. And so that splash could have been Rosalie Otterburn actually throwing something overboard, and that something might have been Jackie's gun. But the interesting thing is that Poirot thinks that this is not likely, because one thing that I forgot to mention was that in Lynette's cabin, when they found Lynette's body, the murderer had used Lynette's blood to write the letter J on the wall, which means that someone is trying to incriminate Jackie. Because a little bit like previously in the book, Jackie had actually spoken to Poirot and said that she wants to kill Lynette with her gun. And while she's having this conversation with Poirot, she sees someone lurking in the shadows who might have overheard her making this confession. And so this leads me to have two theories. The first one is that someone is trying to protect Jackie, which means that they threw the gun overboard because they think that Jackie is the one that killed Lynette, and they're trying to protect her. And that might mean that Simon Doyle is involved, considering that Simon and Jackie had a relationship before him and Lynette got married, and he might still have a soft corner for her. And my second theory is that there are two people involved in this murder. So the murderer basically goes and kills Lynette and then drops the gun overboard. And then this murderer goes and confesses to someone saying that they have killed Lynette. But this person who she speaks to is the one who has heard Jackie say that she wants to kill Lynette. And so they go back to the cabin and they use Lynette's blood to write the letter J to incriminate Jackie. So that's what I think has happened. There are two people involved in this, a murderer and an accomplice who has tried to incriminate Jackie. You guys, this is getting more and more confusing with every page I read. Okay, so basically now what has happened is that another person has been killed. This person, I don't think I really spoke about her, but she is Louise Bourget, and she was Lynette's maid, basically. And she's the one who actually discovered Lynette's body. And now she has been found in her room on the cruise, stabbed in the heart by someone. And I have no idea where to go with this. I'm just gonna stick her here for now. But yeah, a lot of other things have also been discovered, and I have no idea how they kind of fit into these two murders now. One, which is very interesting, is that Simon and Jackie seem to now be in love with each other, or at least Simon seems to have developed feelings for Jackie again, which is very, very suspicious. Maybe they were plotting to basically get Lynette's money. So Simon pretended to be in love with her, killed her, and now both of them are going to run away with her money. I don't know. That could be a theory. The other thing is that I don't know if I mentioned before, but Lynette's pearls, which are worth like $50,000, they were stolen. And now we found out that Miss Van Schuler is actually a kleptomaniac. And she's the one who stole Lynette's pearls, but the ones that she stole were actually fake. So basically, Poirot and Colonel Race don't really know where the real pearls are. And I have no idea how that fits with her murder or the murder of the maid who is Louise Bourget. I'm very confused right now, and I have no idea how everything is going to fit together. But what we do know about Louise is that she actually might have known who the murderer is because she was found with like 1,000 franc note. So maybe she was blackmailing the murderer because she knew the murderer's identity. But I'm nowhere close to figuring out who that person is or persons. I really think there is more than one person involved in this. And I really hope this is not going to be another Murder on the Orient Express kind of thing, because I don't think Agatha Christie would do that twice. I don't think she'd do that twice. If you've read Murder on the Orient Express, you know what I'm talking about. But I don't think Agatha Christie would do that again. So I have about this much left, so like the last 40 pages left in this book, and I'm going to pause here to make my final theory, because I'm pretty sure that Poirot is going to reveal who the murderer is quite soon. So I'm going to stop here and make my theory. Now, another thing that has happened is that another person has died, and that is Mrs. Otterburn. She was about to reveal who killed Louise Bourget, and someone just shot her cold-blooded. If I look at my suspect, I have a complete crackpot theory. I have no idea who the killer is. But considering that Mrs. Otterburn was killed, I feel like we can rule out Rosalie Otterburn. I don't think she would kill her own mother. Fleetwood, honestly, that's too easy. It's too easy a reveal for Agatha Christie because he has a motive, and generally Agatha Christie goes for like plot twists, so I don't think it can be Fleetwood. Tim Allerton, I honestly have no idea what his motive can be and why he would want to hurt Lynette. And so I am leaning towards Simon Doyle and Jackie being the killers, because I feel that from the beginning they had been plotting together to try to steal Lynette's fortune. I have no idea how they would have done it, but my crackpot theory is that they basically faked the whole thing. They faked Jackie stalking Lynette and Simon. They faked Jackie shooting Simon somehow. And basically that Simon, who was shot in the leg, was not actually shot. He was not really injured. I know they both have alibis, but these are the two that I'm leaning towards because I don't see who else could have done it. And I know that it doesn't make sense. And if it's them, I hope that Poirot makes sense of the entire situation. But I just feel that these two have a motive, because it honestly seems as if they are more in love with each other now than they were before. So they want to be together. They want Lynette's money. And yeah, I think it's them. I'm pretty sure I'm 100% wrong. It might be some completely third person who has like arrived on the boat. I don't know. Maybe it could be Joanna Southwood. I have no idea. But I'm leaning towards this, and I'm probably going to be wrong. Okay, so I have heard Poirot's explanation, and I'm going to reveal who the killer is. But if you haven't read Death on the Nile, then stop watching now, because huge spoilers ahead, because I am going to be revealing who the killer is. So you are warned. Spoilers start now. I got it right. I was right. It was Simon and Jackie who are the killers. I cannot believe I got it right. I am so happy. This is the first time I have been able to solve an Agatha Christie mystery, and I am so pleased with myself. Two things which I predicted. One was that the entire stalking thing of Jackie was completely fake. That was true. So that one I kind of guessed. Second thing that I predicted was that Jackie didn't actually shoot Simon. They faked that. That was also true. But I couldn't guess how they would have carried out the murder and how they would do it. And honestly, I have to say, after Poirot's explanation, it was ingenious. Like, I wouldn't have been able to guess how they would have pulled it off and everything that they would have done to pull this off. But I'm very proud of myself. I'm not going to go through all of the details of their crime because it's way too complicated and complex to go into right now. But I was right. I guessed the right killers. I didn't guess how they would do it, but I guessed that it would be them. And I'm so happy with myself. So yeah, that was my video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a big fat thumbs up. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you guys thought, and if you guys want me to solve any other mysteries, are there any other thriller or mystery books that I should check out and attempt to solve it like before it's revealed in the book, let me know. I know that there are a lot of Agatha Christie books that I haven't read, so let me know your favorites down in the comments, and maybe I'll do more of these videos in the future. And yeah, do subscribe to my channel for more book related videos. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.